Hello and welcome to AEF TV in association with Engerati. We've got a bit of a special interview now. We're joined by Rod and Evelyn, the founders of this forum, EnergyNet and so on. Rod, just tell us a little bit about the history of the event.
Well, we started, the first African Energy Forum was started in 98 in Amsterdam, but it grew out of us launching in 95 the Europe-South Africa Business and Finance Forum, whose remit was to promote investment in South Africa, and that grew into Southern Africa, and then we wanted a wider canvas in which to promote African development and energy, power in particular.
So those little niches that you were building up kind of coalesced into something bigger, and it kind of made sense to.
What we looked around, we said, what was required for economic development, and what was essential for economic development in Africa, and it boiled down specifically amongst the other large industries like transport, but it boiled down to power as being absolutely essential in all forms to drive everything. I mean, education, we need light. I mean,
healthcare,
healthcare, everything needed power. And so that's the raison d'être for the African Energy Forum, really.
And what was that first Amsterdam event like? Because it's always hard to do. It sounds like it was a step change from what you were doing to what you were trying to do. And I'm sure it wasn't a walk in the park, but
it was fine. I mean, we wanted to create an investment market in Europe with the logic that if you want investment, go to, don't ask the people with the money to come to you. Go to the market and the expertise. So that was based in Europe, and that was his raison d'être. Hold it in Europe, hold it at the same time every year, and slowly build a marketplace. And this forum now is a demonstration of how it works. I mean,
could I ask you for some sort of milestones along the way? You probably didn't realize there were milestones at the time, but if you were to look back, were there any sort of points along that journey where you go, okay, well, that was important because of this, and that was important because of that?
Not really. I mean, we started with about 200 delegates, and every year it grew. The only year it took a dip was 2009, and that
makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yes.
It took a dip there, and because of the financial crisis. Yeah. But every year there was an incremental, and then in the last few years that we were running it, we saw some significant increases. So I suppose, in terms of numbers, Paris was really the big one.
Yeah.
It increased quite substantially in Paris.
And what do you think? Looking at this event now, and you've been here for the 2 days. What are some of your observation of where it's gone? Because it's almost like, it's like a baby when you do something for yourself. So it's very personal, and then you kind of hand it over. Yeah.
Well, I think it's now got its own logic. I mean, it's arrived because it has created that marketplace. In the last 3 years, it's reached almost as critical. It can grow, of course, but I mean it's now big enough to really be a feature in promoting development and that's what you need, because you need to engender real interest and also stimulate deals. And it looks like in the last 3 years, and certainly last year, when deals were closed, a lot of power deals were closed. That's what this is all about.
And that's one of the things that I'm kind of hearing when talking to people as well. There's a lot of people saying, well, we were the only law firm in Africa at one point in time. Now you've got, I don't know, maybe too many lawyers. I don't know, but
everybody's going to complain that you've got, there's too many lawyers. There'll be too many emergency power providers, but that's indication of how successful it is.
And has that success surprised you? And I'm not talking about the event here. I'm talking about Africa's success in some of the things that have been done.
No, not at all. Yeah. I mean, Africa for us, again, the logic. It's a continent behind, in development terms, behind other continents. It can't stagnate. I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, the world, it's just not going to do it. And so, as an area as a region of growth, Africa has to grow. There has to be a market. So and this is a demonstration. And certain industries are going to be driving that growth. And power
is critical to all of them.
I mean, you've got power, telecommunications, as we were talking about before, and transport. So you're
not to mention agriculture, which is increasingly also needing power, especially in some of the bigger monoculture type areas. So we're coming to the end of our time in this interview. Time flies. I know you've been sat through and looking at some of the session. Is there anything that you would pick out and say, well, that's an interesting trend, or I'm encouraged by that, or I'm disappointed that this particular conversation is still happening?
I'm encouraged. It's quite interesting to look at a particular country in Africa, and one that we've documented over the years has been Mozambique. And to see the result of the political will to deliver is encouraging, and Mozambique is an example of that.
And those political frameworks are getting better and better, aren't they?
Well, also they have the government departments are technically very competent. So it's a government of technocrats in a way. And that's good. You can see the result of that they are putting things in place.
Gives confidence.
Absolutely. And so it's good to see one country. There's other examples. I mean, Kenya's done well in the IPPs, but consistently Mozambique has put its message across, and I think that they have benefited by being at this particular conference. The country has benefited by being reliable. Minister Engerati always turns up, always enthusiastic, always hardworking, and they have benefited. And of course, the conference has benefited.
Yeah, sure. Well. Because you need all the actors to be in the same place. Otherwise, the whole wheel doesn't work.
So that's been encouraging, and it's still going on.
And that's perfect. And we've kind of come to the end of our time here, Rod. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I grabbed you at the last minute, but I thought it's a conversation that was worth having. So thank you as well for watching AEF TV in association with Engerati. Many more interviews on AEF and the Engerati Power Network as well. So look forward to seeing you virtually, albeit online soon. Thank you.